this is Jill from Paper Daisy Crafting. Thank you for joining me today. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demo here in the UK. Hope you're having a good day, and I hope you've not been too badly affected by the pandemic. It's pretty grim, isn't it? It's pretty grim in this country, but good news, as I'm filming this is going to go out tomorrow, which is Sunday. So as I'm filming this, shortly after this is published tonight, tomorrow morning, first thing, I'm going to be having my vaccine, so I'm delighted about that. So yeah, hopefully this is a small light at the end of a very long tunnel, but hopefully we're finding our way out of it. Anyway, enough about the pandemic. We're here to craft. Let's cheer ourselves up with a bit of crafting. And we're going to have a go at making a version of this card today. This card was posted on my blog on the 21st of this month on a blog hop, Stampin' Dreams blog hop, and I'm a bit behind with all my video tutorials at the minute. I don't know, I seem to have lost a week somewhere. I'm not quite sure where, so I'm trying to catch up. So today I'm bringing you this version. It's made with a touch of ink, which I haven't got out yet, which is a good point. So I need to get that out. I haven't even landed any of the stamps up yet. This is a free celebration set. If you spend £90, which is quite a lot of money, I know, but you do get this free double stamp set. So it's a double stamp set. It's 2 sheets of stamps in here, one with the line drawings and one with the infill colours. I'm just using the line ones today, but it makes a beautiful card. As you can see, I've made several cards with it so far, lots of ideas more for using it, so we're going to do that. The paper that I used on this card is from a set called Hydrangea Hill. It's a really lovely palette of mostly blues and purples, but today I'm going to use a different sheet. I'm going to use this one, which is mostly Rococo Rose, just to change it up a bit and use some different colours. But first of all, we're going to do our stamping. So I have a panel here, which is just over 15 centimetres that way and 8 centimetres that way. And this is going to go on an A6 card blank, half A4 sheet, and fit in like that, fit on like that. And so it's slightly longer, so I can trim that off and get nice crisp edges when I've done. So I need to mount some of my stamps onto blocks. Should have done this before I came on camera, but it doesn't harm for you to see what all the actual things that go on. So I need the Hummingbird. Obviously I'm going to change because I'm using different DSP. The one I showed you had a very purple theme. This one is going to be more pink theme. So that's the Hummingbird. You will need bigger blocks for these stamps. They're quite big, so you need a D. I think that's a D block, yes. You need D blocks for most of these. You might get away with a smaller block for the flower, but you might have to miss off some of the stem. So I will use a bigger block today. And then you just need a smaller block for whatever greeting you're going to use. I might use Thank You So Much. So I'm going to use that one and put that on a little block. There we go. Right, okay, so I'm going to use Memento ink, which again I haven't got out. I'm not very organised today, am I? Right, and we're going to stamp 2 sprigs of the flower over this end, then line up the Hummingbird, and that's very easy to do because they're photopolymer, and then just some leaves at this side. I might do another leaf up there as well, actually. I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper so that I save my grid paper, just so I don't have to keep changing it over, because I'm trying to record a lot of videos today. So let's get started. This is the flower sprig. So we're going to do 1 flower sprig up here. And then another one down here, like so. There we go. So that's our 2 flowers. We're then going to do our Hummingbird. So again, ink that up, bring that onto camera. I think actually my Memento, I use my Memento ink a lot, and I think it needs re-inking actually. Might get to that after this. Right, and we're going to position it so that it looks like the Hummingbird is really sticking his beak down into the flower. Like so. There we go. Oh, lovely. So easy to position that because they're photopolymer, as I said. And then the leaves on the other side. I'm going to do one coming down from the top like that. and then one like that. There we go. Yeah, you can see my Memento ink isn't always stamping particularly well. That needs a little bit of ink going on there. Right, okay, and then we're going to colour, but actually I'm going to leave that to dry for a minute because I'm going to be I'm going to use my watercolour pencils and then a blender pen. I don't want the Memento ink to run. So I'm going to leave that for a sec, and I'm going to come to my card blank. So I've already made a card blank here. This is my usual size of 21 centimetres by 15, or if you're working in inches, this is 8 1/4 inches scored at 4 1/8. If you're in centimetres, it's scored at 10 1/2, and this is about 5 3/4. And then I just need 2 little strips of the DSP. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer, and I'm going to trim off a strip that is 1 1/2 centimetres wide, which will give me a little bit of overlap, but that's fine. I just want to, don't need it quite this wide. There we go. And then when I've got my trimmer out, I'm just going to trim a couple of little strips of Rococo Rose card, and these are just going to be 1/2 centimetre wide. So very slim little strips of card. There we go. There. 2 little strips of card, which I will show you what I'm going to do with them in a minute. So first of all, we need to stick the get rid of that now. Stick the DSP down. So this is the one this was the side that I used before, which is lovely. I love that pale purple stripe, but this is quite pretty as well, so I think this will be good. So that's going there. So I'm just going to trim that off. Oh, where are my scissors? Have I put them away? I tidied up before I came on camera and tidied everything away that I needed. So let's just trim that there. And then hopefully this one will be long enough to go on there. Yeah, that's good. So I'm just going to glue those down with a little bit of Tombow. Like so. There we go. Actually managed to get myself organised today. I've been struggling. I don't know, I just have whole phases where I'm completely unproductive and can't get my act together. And then all of a sudden today, and I woke up and thought, yeah, today's the day you get that done. And so I have been very productive today, which is great because it means I'll be on top of it for the rest of the week, which is really good. Right, there we go. I think sometimes you do just have to let yourself not be productive and just let your body take a bit of a rest. I think I was particularly, so I've not had a particularly easy January, to be honest. First my daughter was ill, and then I had to do my tax return, and we've had some problems with my mum in her care home, so it's not been a particularly easy January as well. And on top of that, of course, lockdown. I think my body was just saying, just take a little break, just have a break and get off the roundabout for a minute and take a break. And I think I did, but consequently I end up feeling really disorganised, and I love it when I'm organised. There we go. There we go. So just trim them off, and then we're just going to leave the card blank for the moment. I'm not going to do anything else with that for the moment. We'll just put that to one side. It's very pretty, that paper, though, don't you think? Loving that. Now we'll go back to our stamped panel. And now I've got out all my watercolour pencils here. I have both packs of our watercolour pencils. I'm very much a completist in terms of colours and things. I have to have them all. I know when some people start collecting Stampin' Up colours, they say, oh, should we do the brights? And I just had to have them all. That was why I joined, because I knew I needed to buy everything, and it was going to cost me a fortune, so I bought. So I've got all the colours of Stampin' Up colours. I'm not going to use them all today. I'm going to use Flirty Flamingo. Sadly, oh, that's not Flirty Flamingo, that's Calypso Coral, but that might be quite nice, actually. Where's Flirty Flamingo gone? Can't even see it there. That's Melon Mambo. Flirty Flamingo, there we are. Some of these colours on the ends aren't very true to life. And I'm still going to go green for the leaves, so I might do a bit more of an olivey dark green on this one. And for my Hummingbird, I'm going to go sort of turquoisey, greeny, I think, and he might have a little bit of pink on him as well. Sort of blue, I think that one's, well, that's Night of Navy, so that might. So I'll just sort out some colours that might be useful. There. You see, some of these colours aren't very true. This one, Balmy Blue, looks darker than Pacific Point, which is not true in real life. So you do need to just check what colour you're using. Right, okay, so let's start colouring. So most of my flowers are going to be Flirty Flamingo, except, and I didn't get it out, I'm going to do the centres in yellow. Where's my original card? You can see I just did the middles of the flowers, so not really just sticking to the stamens, but just like a yellow blob in the middle, just to give them some interest. And I think pink flowers can have a yellow centre as well, so that's fine. And then I'm going to bring in my Flirty Flamingo and colour the rest of these flowers. And I'm not going to be too concerned because I'm going to blend all of this out with our blender, one of our blender pens. Our blender pens come in packs of 3, and they're filled with some sort of magical liquid, which I've never managed to quite establish what they are. But what they do is they dissolve almost the watercolour pencil, and so it blends nicely together. You lose all the pencil, all the strokes, so you can see the lines at the minute where I'm colouring. You can see the lines of the pencil, and what the watercolour the blender pens will do is smooth all those out, so you just get a lovely matte of colour, and you can blend colours like that as well. So if you haven't got any of our blends, our Stampin' blends, this is quite a good and a bit of a cheaper option because you can get more colours, more for your money. And I just love colouring. I loved colouring when I was a little girl. My mum always said if I had a birthday or Christmas and I received a parcel that had any colouring crayons or paints, that was it. I wasn't going to open anything else. I was just off colouring. But I'm not much of an artist. I can colour in things when the lines are already there. I'm really not a very good artist. Right, I'm going to take a little bit of rich raspberry, and I'm just going to do a little bit of darker. I don't know how this is going to look once I start blending, but hey ho, we'll just give it a go. Just to put a little bit of highlight on some of these. It won't be very much, it'll be very subtle. Yeah, so I love colour. And I love bright colours and rainbow colours, multicolours. And I think I always did, but it didn't translate into me being able to draw or paint, especially not from real life. I was quite good at abstract, but I wasn't ever very good at real life. Right, there's our flowers. So if I show you, I'm going to bring in my blend pen, and you can see it looks quite marked on the end there, but actually, oh, and that one is marked because that's the one I've been using today, just to prove my point. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scrub that on here just to show you that all that colour will disappear eventually. So that's now, all that colour is gone. Wouldn't have mattered had it happened because it was pink and I was doing pink, but you do just need to check there, and then just go over that. And I don't know if you can see what's happening there, but all of that colour is just blending so that you're losing all the pencil marks, and it's smoothing it all out. It's just like magic and it looks fab. Probably could do some of the darker colour over again, which I might do in a minute once this has dried a little bit. There we go. And that's our flowers done. So quite quick to do. And if you want to make sure you clean your pen before you finish, just scribble it on a piece of card and that will disappear. The tip will look stained. Pinks and reds always do that to our products. Our stamps and whatever always stain with the red ink, but it won't affect, it won't come out. Right, okay, I'm then going to do the leaves, do some leaves. So I'm going to use Old Olive for the leaves. And this is quite a little small space, so I'm not actually going to use a different colour on these. I'm just going to use Old Olive. When I come onto the bigger leaves on the other side, I will mix it up a bit. So there's the leaves. So again, my blender pen, and just go over the bit that you've just done. Like so. And then come over here, and I'm going to use some garden green for some of the leaves. So I'm going to do one side of them in garden green and one side in old olive, and see what sort of look that gives us. Hopefully a good look. There we go. There. I hope it's as therapeutic watching colouring as it is doing it. I do love colouring. And one day I'll work out how to edit my videos so that I can do this, and then I can speed this section up to whiz through it for you. But meanwhile, there is a little cog in your settings that you can watch videos at twice the normal speed if you wanted to do that while I'm doing all the boring bits. The boring bits for you are the bits I like doing best though. There we go. Luckily these stamps are quite quick to colour anyway, and they do make it easy. And of course, if you don't want to colour at all, you can use the infill stamps and just stamp, and you'd have colour filling your line drawings. So that would be quite an easy way to do it. There we go. So we've got two-tone leaves here, and when we blend, those colours won't look as different against each other as they do at the moment. And of course, you could do this in all sorts of ways. You could have coloured the whole leaves in one green and then gone over all the veins in the darker green. That would have looked quite nice. So I'm coming in again, and I'm just going to blend. And if you go over one colour and then the other, the colours merge together a little bit, and so you get a blend of garden green and old olive. So it doesn't look quite as different as it did before we blended it. Oh, that's quite nice, isn't it? You see the difference between this and this. Sadly, this leaf hasn't stamped quite as well as I would like it to. I really must remember to refill my memento pad before I use it again. Just that last one. And now we're just down to doing the hummingbird. And so the hummingbird, I'm going to start off doing in Coastal Cabana. I did look up hummingbirds, and they do tend to be bluey green, most of them, shades of blue and green. So that's why I'm going with these shades today. So we'll do wings in Coastal Cabana, and we'll do a little bit of blue on his head, I think. I wonder if any of you are in the UK. Are you doing the bird watch this weekend? I've put aside an hour tomorrow to just sit and watch my garden and watch all the birds coming and going, which will be quite fun. So now I'm on Pacific Point. Although I think these might be the wrong way round, to be honest. I think they've been labelled wrongly, because this is much more balmy blue, and that's Pacific Point. I've got a feeling that my crayons are wrongly labelled. But I've had them ages. I can't possibly send them back now. And I'm going to let him have a little bit of pink just to link in with the flowers. He's going to have a little pink tummy. And I've got a feeling that Coastal Cabana and Bermuda Bay might be the same, because this is much darker. Oh, this is Bermuda Bay. It's just that the tip at the end looks like Coastal Cabana, but the pencil is actually the right colour. And then I'm going to do his tail feathers in that colour as well. So slightly different colours to what I did before on the hummingbird, but again, doesn't really matter. So we're going to come in with that, get rid of the green that was on there. Let's do his wings first. Oh, it's one of my favourite colours, Coastal Cabana. I love it. There we are. And then do his tail feathers. And then I'm going to blend that into the blue of his body. So I want that to blend a little bit to be a greeny blue. And the same with his head. So I'm not going to clean my brush, because I wanted that to blend colours. I want them to be similar. And then I'm just going to clean it to just do the pink, because I don't want the pink really running into anything. go. There, that's all our colouring done. Put my pencils away over there. And then I just need to stamp my greeting, which is thank you so much. I'm going to do here, and I'm going to do it there. So again, I need my Memento ink. Very difficult to tell with Memento ink whether you've inked your stamp properly as well. There we go. I love these greetings from this set as well. They're quite a nice little size. Thank you so much. Now, what I might try, because I'm really unhappy with this is going to be a bit of an experiment. I'm going to take my black marker and I'm just going to try and go over some of the bits of this leaf, because it really hasn't stamped very well at all. So with a black marker, if I go over those lines, might just make it look a little bit better. It's looking better already. Like so. Just to make that look like it's stamped a bit better. That's better. Right, okay, and so then we come back in with our card blank. So that pink doesn't look too far off, although it's a much pinker pink than Rococo Rose. I think that will look okay. So I'm going to glue that down. It's a little bit longer than my card blank, so I'm going to have to trim it off in a sec. So let's do that there. I'm overlapping the DSP just a little bit, just a fraction. And make sure you've got it in straight, and then if you haven't, the Tombow will give you a little bit of wiggle room to sort that out. And then use your bone folder or whatever you use to burnish to push that down. And then we're just going to do a little border with the Rococo Rose strips that I cut earlier, just to finish that off, just to make that look much more complete. So again, a little bit of Tombow all the way along here. Like so. And another. I shall be so glad when it's summer and I don't have to worry about the dark so much for photograph. I keep missing the daylight. I've got so many cards to photograph, and I keep remembering after it's got dark in the evening. It gets dark so early. I should be so glad when the evenings start getting a bit lighter. We've got to get to the end of March for that. So, right, there we go. That's our card. So we've got the purple one and the pink one. I know which one Jez will prefer. She's a very purple girl, but I quite like the pink. I'm not averse to the pink. There we go. So what I'm going to just do now is just to trim off the overhang. A little bit overhanging each side here. And by doing this way, you can make sure you get really nice crisp edges. You just need to push your blade right up against the edge of the card and cut. So without cutting the card, you're cutting right along the edge. And it's very easy to do this with the snips. They do make that easy. It's much harder with much smaller pairs of scissors. Right, there we go. Now on this one, I did do another sprig. I did do a little sprig inside, which I might do afterwards with this. Just stamp that inside, just to finish that off. So there's my two cards. I hope you like them. I hope you found the video useful. Don't forget, everything I've used is available in my online shop if you fancy having a little splurge on craft products. And don't forget, we've got Celebration on at the moment, which means if you do feel like a splurge and you spend £45, you can choose a free item from our Celebration booklet. And if you spend £90, you can choose this stamp set that I've used today, absolutely free, which is such a bargain. It would have been, this stamp set would have cost, I think, probably £22, £23 if it was in the catalogue. You can earn it free with an order of £90, so that's a real boost. Anyway, that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now. Have a great day.